I'd like to welcome everybody to a very special edition of the Sports Script today. I have a very special guest. He's starring in the movie Let's Be Cops as little Joey, Joshua Ormond. Joshua, how are you doing this afternoon? Sorry.
I'm doing very good. How are you?
Doing pretty good. I appreciate you taking the time out to let me interview here and talk about the movie and talk a little bit about yourself and, get yourself out there a little bit.
Yeah, no problem. I'm not doing anything too important today.
I appreciate that. Now, Josh, I saw a special screening of this movie a couple weeks ago, and I thought it was fantastic. I won't lie to you, but I had I wasn't sure what to expect of it. I enjoyed the trailer, but after seeing the film, I was so impressed. It was a good story, great acting. It was just a fun time. It's a funny movie. I mean, you guys just start to finish, it was pretty, it was different, it was unique. There's some scenes that just make you laugh so hard you fall into the chair. And my first question to you would be, how did you land the role of little Joey?
Well, I started acting when I was around 4, and we originally went for my sister, but my mom took me along, and they were like, oh, why don't you try him? And so we both tried it. We've been in a few commercials back then, and she didn't like it as much as I did, so I kept going with it, and then we just got the audition for it in New York, and they called us out to Atlanta. This is where the movie was filmed, and that was like a callback. So it was between me and a kid in LA for it, and they chose me for it, so I was pretty excited about that.
That's pretty awesome. Can you give us, we understand, we see a lot of on TV of the audition process and stuff like that, but how was the audition process and what was it like for the landing of little Joey? Did you screen test against some of the other actors and stuff like that?
Yeah, I did. I was there I was in Atlanta with Jake and with Luke and Nick. Luke was the director, Nick was the producer, I believe, or the writer. And so we did some screen testing there with some improv and stuff like that. And when we went back to our hotel, they called us back and they were like, "All right, we want you to do it again, but just no improv," because I guess that's the way Box wanted it. They just wanted to hear the lines and how they were gonna go. But Luke liked it with improv better, so we kind of had to do it both ways, even on set.
That's definitely pretty cool. I enjoyed your role. You brought a nice little unique role to the pair of Waynes and Johnson for sure. I like the trio of you guys, and I really enjoyed that factor. And another question I have for you: I know there was a big screening for you. I know you've been to a couple of them, but I know the big one was in the hometown yesterday, right?
Yeah. We rented a limo, and I picked up some friends, and then we did some pictures before the movie, and we got some frozen yogurt and stuff like that. Then we watched a movie, and then we just chilled out, went to Applebee's afterwards. But it was a lot of fun because I had all my friends there. My sister had a few friends, so it was a lot of fun.
How cool is it to be able to, I guess, just pick everybody up in the limo and your friends and stuff like that, and then sit there and watch yourself on the big screen and people next to you laughing and joking while you're on the screen and stuff like that. How cool is that to be able to do?
It's really cool. I mean, when I first started as an actor, I'd always be like, oh man, one day if I see myself up on TV or on a movie screen, that'd be so awesome. And now recently, I've been seeing myself up on the screen a lot, especially in commercials and the trailer for it. It's been really cool, and my friends are like, oh man, that's so cool that one of my friends is an actor, and my best friend, stuff like that. So it's really cool, and I try not to brag about it or do anything like that. I kind of play it pretty low key. So.
Of course. Now, a quick question as well is how many times have you seen the movie now? I think how many premieres have you been? I think you've been to the premiere. I think it was Tuesday, and then you saw it yesterday with your friends, right?
Yeah, the premiere was last Thursday. Last Thursday,
okay.
I believe. And then I'd seen the movie before in April at an NYU showing in New York.
Okay.
And then I just saw it yesterday, so I've seen it 3 times, and it's funny every time.
Okay, yeah, exactly. And I saw a screening of it, and I got a screening of it. I did a review and stuff like that, but I plan on checking it out this weekend as well, just because I enjoyed it so much. You mentioned a little bit how you got into acting and stuff like that. Is this something that you want to do for a long period of time? Is it something that you want to continue to do in the future?
Yeah, definitely. I enjoyed a lot. I think that I can hopefully go pretty far. A lot of people tell me, like, keep going with the acting. You're good at it. Like, keep going. So I'm hoping I can keep going. But if I don't, I'll plan on being, like, a lawyer or something like that.
Yeah, I saw that. That's pretty awesome. I saw that you want to be a lawyer and stuff. That's really cool and a very, very, very inspiring. I mean, at a young age, you already kind of know what you want to stomp your feet into. That's definitely really neat. And so, a quick question. I mean, you got a lot of funny guys in this film. Rob Riggle, Damon Wayans Jr., Jake Johnson. Give me a mindset of what it is like to be on set with some of these guys. Was it funny? I know there's some serious moments and stuff like that, but kind of off take. I mean, how was it like to be around those guys?
Being around them, it was pretty much like they're just making jokes all the time, and they're always funny when the camera's rolling, when the camera's not rolling. They're just hilarious, especially like Rob Riggle, and especially when I was in the scene where I'm like, "Who's this bitch?" and stuff like that. They're all really funny, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. And I know this is not the first time you've been in a movie with Rob Riggle. You did Nature Calls as well. I don't know if you had any. I don't remember if you had any scenes in it with him, but I do recall you being in that movie as well. I actually really enjoyed that movie. I thought that was a very underrated movie. I don't think a lot of people can appreciate that movie. It's very, very funny, though. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I mean, it didn't go into theaters, but it was a pretty good movie.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Do you have any, dream actors, actresses that you want to play with? Maybe a director that you want to work with in the future?
Well, I definitely want to hopefully someday book a job with Will Ferrell because he is hilarious, and all the movies I've seen him in are like ridiculously funny, and I think that'd be awesome to be able to work with him.
Yeah, Will Ferrell is a very, very, very funny guy, and that would be pretty cool because you see him and he's got a big persona about him. He's a funny guy, and that's definitely something that would be really cool. I got a couple Facebook and Twitter questions here that we got, and I'm going to go ahead and run them by you if that's all right, bud.
Yeah, it's cool.
I got Brittany Smith on Facebook. She asked, "What do you like to do on your spare time?"
On my spare time, we have a boat, so we sometimes like go out onto the bay and we like go fishing. I play video games a lot, especially on like my computer. I play a lot of PC games. Other than that, I'm in band as well, so I play the marimba. It's like Tuesday and Thursday practices right now, and then we'll have like competitions soon. So pretty much that's mostly what I do on my free time.
Following up, what kind of video games do you like to play?
I like to play like Call of Duty on my Xbox and like some Kinect games, I guess. On my computer, I play like World of Warcraft and like Gary's Mod, Minecraft, League of Legends, Team Fortress 2, those kinds of games.
Awesome. I got a question from Darnell Scobie. He asked, what is the last movie that you went to see in theater? Of course, outside your movie.
Outside my movie. The last movie I've seen was probably Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it was funny, and it was a pretty good movie. Yeah,
I definitely agree. I know you're a lot younger than I am, but growing up at my age, I was a big Turtles fan, and I rather enjoyed it as well. It was different, it was unique, but it was definitely a fun time at the movies for sure.
Yeah, it definitely was.
The one thing I wanted to point out was I was reading your bio and stuff like that. I see you're a baseball player.
I do play baseball.
You play. I see you're a pitcher, catcher, first and second baseman as well. Who are some of your favorite baseball players? Who's your favorite baseball team?
Well, my favorite baseball team is the Phillies. I grew up liking the Phillies. For me, it's pretty much Phillies, the Penguins, and the Steelers. So I know one of them is Philadelphia, and the other two are Pittsburgh, but yeah. So
there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all, Josh. I'm a big Phillies fan myself. I'm from right outside Philly, so you kind of just made the interview for me, saying that you're a Phillies fan. I know it's a rough time to be a Phillies fan, but that's awesome that you are a Phillies fan.
Yeah, it is kind of a rough time, but hey, you got to stick with it.
Exactly, exactly. Some people just like to kick the teams to the curb, but not me. I definitely like sticking on to it. And we got one more Twitter question. It was from Tiffany. She wants to know what kind of music are you into?
I guess I don't really listen to specific music. I mean, I put on like WAYV or like Z100 or something like that on the radio, and it's kind of whatever's on. I listen to like the top 40 songs or things like that. So, I mean, all the songs I don't really hate that much music other than like jazz music. I don't really hate it, and we don't like country either. But it's not necessarily we hate it. We just don't like the style of it. And it doesn't really appeal to us. But I don't really, I guess, have a specific one. I mean, like rock music's fine, like stuff like that.
Yeah, of course. I definitely understand that. I'm kind of like that too. It's kind of like whatever's on, and I'll listen to it and enjoy it. And I got a few more questions here before we can wrap up. What is the difference? Is a question I have because I know you've done a lot of commercials. So, what is the big difference between? Is there a big difference between filming like a commercial and then like filming a movie? I know a movie takes longer and the process is a little bit longer, but like, what's the biggest difference between filming a commercial and a movie?
Well, other than, like you said, having the difference of having how long it takes, you're on set with everyone for a longer time for a movie, so you get to know everyone better, and especially if you're in a movie that like shoots on a different location, you get to fly out to that location. Usually, if you're on a commercial, you don't get a tutor either. Like for a movie, if you're away for a movie for like a month or something like that, you got to get a tutor. You don't usually have to get a tutor for a commercial, unless the commercial for some reason would take a few days, like you're doing multiple commercials for the same company or something like that. But you get to shoot on location for a movie, which is a lot of fun, and you get to be around the people more, especially like the other actors that'll be in the movie with you. When it comes to commercials, you're kind of just with the other actors that are in the commercial with you, if there are any, for like half a day. So you try to get to know them as much as you can, so it's not really awkward when you're filming, but it's easier when you're on a movie because you get to be around everyone so much longer.
Yeah, so basically you try to build, because if you're going to be on set on a movie very long, you kind of want to get to know the people and get to be around them and hopefully build relationships as well, of course, because that's key in the business that you're in, is to build relationships as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so how hard is it? I don't think it's hard because I read online that you're an honor student and stuff like that, is when you're filming, like, how long was the shoot for Let's Be Cops?
The shoot took about 2 months, but they didn't always need me there, so sometimes they would let us fly back to New Jersey. Other times they'd keep us out there. I know one of the times they had us out there for 16 days, and some of the days we couldn't go like a block away from the hotel because if they needed us, like they weren't sure if they needed us that day. So my mom was like, "Oh, yay, I get to be in a hotel with a 14-year-old boy for a whole day."
So basically, you were kind of on call. So if they were just gonna be like, "Hey, we need Josh on set," you got to run and you got to be on set, yeah?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, most of the time they're pretty organized. Like, all right, well, tomorrow we'll need you at this time and stuff like that. There were only a few days where it was a little kind of questionable, but it was mostly pretty good.
That's great. And do you have, as a young actor, do you have any advice for young kids your age and that want to inspire to be a young actor and stuff like that in the business?
Well, I would just say, like, keep going with it. Like, I wouldn't let people, like, bring you down about it or try to say things about it, because I know that happened to me sometimes. But you just, as long as you believe that you can do it, you should just keep going with it, and hopefully you can go pretty far.
Awesome. Do you have any upcoming projects you can let us know about, or are you going to keep them under wraps or anything like that right now?
Nothing right now. I mean, I'm going into high school right now, going into 9th grade, going to be a freshman. So right now school is pretty important, especially because first year high school. So we're being a bit more selective about what roles I go for, especially because this age group, this age that I'm in, 14-year-olds, it's kind of a awkward age for acting as of right now, especially because there's a lot of like Disney and like Nick shows that you can go out for, and it's kind of, they're not the best ones to go out for because they can put you on hold for like a few years and you won't be able to go on like any auditions or anything like that. So I haven't reached the age where I'm old enough to go for a younger role yet, but I'm also not at the age where I can be young and go for like a really young role. So it's an awkward age, and I'm going into high school, so we're being a bit more selective about what I go for.
There's definitely nothing wrong with that, and the one way you and I connected was on Twitter, so I wanted to bring that up, which of course everybody can follow him at Joshua Ormond. Folks, we need to get his followers up, so go ahead and hop over to Twitter right now and give the man a follow so we can get his follower count up. But you're very, very, this is a big important thing, especially for your age and stuff like that. You're very active on Twitter. You're very, very active. You try to respond. You retweet the people that tweet the movie. That's how you and I got connected. How important has it been, and how big has it been for you to interact with your fans? I guess to your fans, the people that have seen you in theaters now, and how cool is it that you get tweeted a lot, and whenever you're like I said, you're making a big deal about making sure you respond to all your fans, and that's a pretty cool deal. So, how cool is it? And I can't believe, like I said, you're like you're a little celebrity here. So responding to all the fans is pretty cool. So, what is it like, being tweeted a lot about the movie and so forth? Hey, Joshua, you're funny as little Joey and stuff like that. How cool is that to see on a daily basis?
I think it feels pretty cool. I mean, I like responding to people's tweets a lot, and when we were in California, we actually met up with a few people from Twitter, and we got them tickets to the LA premiere. So
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and it's, my mom tries to make me, I mean, yeah, we like favorite tweets and retweet stuff, but she tries to get me to like tweet like at least like one or two things every day. So yeah, and responding to people too, but mostly like the normal general tweets, she tries to make me do at least like one or two a day. But it's really cool. We try to keep it active as much as possible, and people are always like, "Oh, little Joey just favorited and retweeted my tweet. Oh, that's so awesome!" And I was like, that's so cool that I can just like favorite and retweet someone's tweet and they like flip out about it, and it's like it's pretty cool.
It just makes their day that you retweeted it or replied to their tweet. Definitely, for sure, that's really cool.
Yeah, the one person was like, "Oh, you just made my year," and I was like, "What?"
That's definitely cool. It's definitely cool that you can have that kind of effect on somebody like that. And there is a push. I heard that we're going to get a push going around that we need to get little Joey on New Girl. I'm going to go ahead and promote this right now, and we're going to bring it up on the air. Anybody listening, we're going to make sure that we're going to make this happen, Josh. You and I and everybody else are going to make sure that we can get little Joey to make an appearance on New Girl. I know that's something that that needs to happen. Am I right with that, Josh?
Yeah, it definitely would be really fun, and I'm sure they could fit a way into it, because I'm pretty sure Winston is going to become a cop soon, so I think that would somehow fit into getting little Joey in there, maybe.
I totally agree. And Josh, before we go, is there anything you want to say out there to your fans?
Just look for me in any projects coming up. I'll definitely tweet about anything if I book anything, any movies or anything like that. I'll let everyone know.
Awesome. Josh, thank you. Make sure everybody check out Josh's Little Joey in theaters right now. Let's Be Cops. Very funny movie. Very good time at the theaters. Hit up Josh on Twitter at Joshua Ormond. Hit him up on Facebook at facebook.com/Joshua Ormond Actor. Hit up his IMDb page. You can just search for him as Joshua Ormond. Josh, thank you so much for calling in, and we appreciate talking to you. And we hope to talk to you here in the future as well, bud.
Thank you.
Have a good night, bud.
All right, thank you too.
I just want to thank Joshua Ormond for calling into the show. It was a great show. Make sure to check out Let's Be Cops in theaters now. Check out everything over at thesportscript.com. We'll have this up later for the iTunes listeners as well. So thank you again to Joshua Ormond, and stay tuned for the next episode, guys.